Cool. So it's time for us to get our robot actually to work, which I think is really cool. So the first thing I did is these housings actually fit nicely right through these holes. So I'm going to feed these wires right through there. That'll keep them from actually getting bounced around a lot and from possibly breaking just from moving back and forth. So it kind of keeps them in a nice safe position. Do this with both sides here real quickly if I can. Probably should have paused it, but I think it'll happen pretty fast. Alright, and then let's not forget, I did pull these out obviously to get this together. The third one down and the third from the bottom, okay, is the ones that hook the motors up. So I'm going to plug this in here. I think I'll put the blue in the front. I have no idea which is right yet. We'll just play with it. I'll put the green in the back. So on either side of those common grounds, okay, is where the motors go. So let's put the blue in the front and the green in the back. Yours might be different colors, might be different everything. I'm just taking a guess here. Okay, and of course I have these really nice lab stands, which is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and prop my robot up here so like this, so I can play with it, not have any issues. And that way the wheels are off the ground and you guys can see it. And let's open up some code. Okay, and if I recall, the last thing I did with code is I told my motors to stop. So I'd expect that if I turn my robot on, it's just not going to do anything because well, I told it to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and uncomment this. I'm sorry, I'm going to comment this. Remember, the lows all made it stop. Okay, all these lows, if you have low here, low on channel A and low on channel B on motor 1, it's going to stop. Low on 2 and low on A and B, it's going to stop. So let's go here and let's just open this up and let's hope for the best. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully they're both going to go in the same direction. If not, I'll show you how to change it. It's just a matter of switching the lows and the highs together. And I'm going to plug it in. And tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run this battery pack on here. I'm going to plug it in just in case, so we don't suck down too much power from my computer. And I'm going to load it up. So I'm going to pause while it's loading because I know it takes a while. That actually went pretty quick. Okay? And now you can see that the robot's going back and forth, back and forth. Let's put some ridiculously long time. I'm curious to know if I'm going forward or not. So this way, it should go in this direction for 5 seconds and then in this direction for 1 second. So we should be able to tell the difference. Ooh, I got pretty lucky. Okay. This is forward for 5 seconds. That's reverse. Let me screw it up intentionally. Let's say, for example, you found out yours was like this. Okay, you'll see that what's going to do is it's going to switch the direction of one of these wheels. So currently then this one's going in reverse for 5 seconds. And then it goes forward for 1 second. So intuitively you can say, well, one of two things I could do. I could either A, flip these two wires around, I could flip this green and this blue, but quite honestly I kind of like the symmetry of that. You'd be better off, if you like the symmetry of your colors of wires, to actually go ahead and recode it and load it up. Now you'll see that they both go the same direction, forward and then reverse for 1 second. Forward for 5, reverse for 1. Okay, so let me create a couple of functions. Actually, I'm going to do one right now on the fly, just because I don't think I've really introduced functions at all. So I'm going to take right here, and well, let's go right below this. I'm going to get rid of some of this dead space here because I explained what that was for. let's go down here and let's call it let's make a function that's called just forward. All right, so we're going to go void okay, so here's our function space for forward. And I'm just going to take and copy and paste this right here. I'm actually going to control exit, or I'm gonna, whatever it is on a Mac, I'm not really sure, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I'm going to paste it right here. And I'm going to tidy it with Control T. So I got some good looking code. Now I'm going to take, and instead of, I'm just going to go ahead and go like this, I'm going to copy this forward with the open and close parentheses, and I'll explain that in a second. I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to put a semicolon at the end. Let's do this. Let's create a reverse. So let's go with void alright, so that's reverse. And I'm going to take and copy, I'm going to cut this right from it. I'm going to paste it right here. Okay. I'm going to tidy it, Control T. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this right here. So if I load this up, what it's going to do is it's going to go to this loop, and it's going to go ahead and call forward. Okay, well, forward is down here. So it's going to run this set of code for how long? Well, 5 seconds. And then it's going to call reverse, so it's going to set this set of code up. And then it's going to delay for 1,000. So what we should see is essentially no change. Alright, so I'm going to load this up. And my loop has gotten a lot smaller because I've split it into functions. And you can see it's doing exactly what it did before. But now I have these nice, easy to call functions. And you can see I could probably make a turn right and a turn left just as easily. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've actually added a lot of functions here, a lot of different little pieces of code. Notice also I've started to comment my code, which I should have done from the beginning, but this is a crash course, so I didn't spend a lot of time on this. But 2 slashes means that the whatever you type after that is essentially invisible to the compiler. It just doesn't even see it. And I've created a function here called stopBot, which has got all lows on all 4 of the different inputs. And so that makes it stop. Forward and reverse, I think we kind of played with that a little bit, but you can see the sequence here to pulse the pins, so I can make it go forward, have the wheel spin either clockwise or counterclockwise into a forward direction or a reverse direction. And then I've also added a turn right and a turn left. And turn right and turn left in this case are not like veers. Okay, it's not a gentle, turn. It's a spin on a center. All right. So I'm going to have in one case the one wheel go forward and the other wheel go in reverse. So that's going to spin the robot quickly to the right and left. Of course, it's going to be the opposite. I'm going to turn this wheel forward and this one in reverse. It's going to cause the whole robot to suddenly spin in this direction. Okay, so that's a turn right and turn left. We can do a veer right and a veer left in the future, but that's what I got going right now. And we can do a couple of quick tests. You can see in my loop, the last thing I did was a stop bot. And what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and uncomment all of these. And let's do a turn right for, I don't know. Let's turn right for 1 second, so 1,000 milliseconds. And then let's do a turn left for half a second, so it'll be pretty quick. So 500 milliseconds. Let's go forward. Let's do a delay. For 5 seconds, we're going to reverse it for 1 second. And actually, I'm going to show you something else that's kind of cool. Let's say I just want to stop and I don't want to go any further. I'm going to do a while true, and it's just going to if I'm going to set a condition where I'm going to say, well, while something is true, it's going to just stay there. It's going to get stuck in a loop. And in fact, it will go no further than this. This is terminal. It's going to get stuck in this while true, and for the rest of the time the battery's up or the thing is plugged in, it's just going to sit there and go while, and it's just not going to get out of it. So let's load it up, see what happens. We should see it turn right, switch. It's already doing the forward, reverse, and stop, and it's stuck in a while true. And run that one more time. See if we can see it. Right, switch, forward, and then stop. Okay, perfect. Worked great. All right, I'll be right back and I'll show you some more stuff. So let's make this code a little bit cleaner and easier to use. Just where you're at right now. So instead of actually having it so we had to put a separate delay, let's build the delay right into the function. Say, for example, turn right. So I'm going to scroll down here to my turn right function. And these parentheses are used to hold something called an argument. So we're going to pass a variable down to the function. So we're going to take and create a variable inside of this function. Let's make it an integer. And let's call it delay. All right, misspelled. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go ahead and put in here the proper spelling of delay, and we're going to go ahead and put in there delay. Okay, so now if I put something within the parentheses, let's say a 100, what's going to happen is that 100, when it gets called, is going to get passed into this space right here. It's going to fill this variable called delay, and then it's going to go down here and actually become the delay that it waits for. All right. So I'm going to copy and paste this a few times. Let's just try this out. It should work really well. I'm so confident. I haven't even tested it. And I'm going to go ahead and reproduce this on all of these functions very quickly. So copy this. And let's paste it right there. And then we'll copy this. Actually, let's put this in all of the different parentheses. Okay, and now let's copy this and paste it at the end of all the functions. All right. So now what I can do is I can take, for example, just get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Let's still put this while true here so it kind of holds it for a second. Let's put a value in here, say 1000, so it's going to run for 1000 milliseconds. Let's do the same thing. We'll put 1000 in here. That 5 seconds is a little bit long. Let's make it 3000. 3 seconds. Let's put this in here at, I don't know, 2000. It's going to go in reverse. And then we're going to make it stop for a period of time, let's say 500, because actually what's ultimately going to happen is it's going to stay stopped because it's going to go to this while true and it's going to get stuck. So if I load this up, oops, look at that. I put that in the wrong side of the I didn't, for some reason, click it into the parentheses. There we go. Let's try that. All right. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so let's watch it. So it turns right for 1 second. Turns left for 1 second, goes forward for 3, reverses for 2, stops, and then it gets stuck in an infinite loop. It's perfect. All right, so let me go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll see you again soon.